Chapter 3 Early next morning, the house was quiet. Suddenly, there was a cry from the room next to Roger's, his mother's room. Roger opened his eye and looked at the clock. It was nearly 7 o'clock. He got out of bed and opened the door quietly. At the same time, the door of his mother's room opened, and Diane came out. Her face was very white. "Roger, it's Mother. I brought a cup of coffee for her, and I found her dead. She's dead. Dead in her bed," she cried. Roger went quickly to the door of his mother's room and looked in. The window was open, but the room was warm. Molly was on the bed, one hand under her head. Roger went across the bed and put his hand on her arm. It was cold. On the little table next to the bed was a hot coffee and an empty cup. "I'm going to call the doctor," Diane said. "She's dead," Roger said slowly. His face was white. "Mother, she's dead." Diane walked across the room to the door. "I'm going to phone the doctor," she said again. "Wait a minute," Roger called. "Let's tell the family first." "Family? Nobody loved Mother." Diane went out and ran downstairs. Roger slowly went downstairs after her and stood by the telephone. "Dr. Pratt, this is Diane Clausen. It's my mother. She's dead. Can you come quickly?" Diane put the phone down. "It isn't true, Roger. Mother dead. Daddy died last winter. And now Mother..." Diane began to cry. "Don't cry, Diane," Roger said. "Let's go upstairs and tell Uncle Albert and Jackie." "No, you tell them. Nobody loved Mother. You aren't sorry? Look at you. You want her money, that's all." Roger suddenly wanted his Diane. "Be quiet," he said. "What about you? You did love Mother. You wanted her money too. Don't forget that." "It's true," Diane said. "Oh, I can't stay in this house. I'm going out. I'm going to the river with dogs." "No," Roger says. "The doctor is coming, and I want you here." Diane says nothing. She went in the kitchen, and at once the dog got up and came to her. "Beautiful dogs," Daddy loved you, and Mother loved you. Now I'm going to love you. She opened the back door and went out with the dogs. Roger did not move. He stood by the telephone. It's true, he thought. I am happy about the money. I needed money, and now I'm rich. Things are going for me now. But Mother, why didn't I love her more? And now she's dead. Slowly, Roger went back upstairs. He wanted to rest before Dr. Grass died. Dr. Brett was a little fat man without much hair. He was family doctor, and he knew all clock. He went upstairs at once and looked at Molly's body. He looked carefully at a cup of coffee and the empty cup on the table next to her bed. I'm sorry, Roger, he said. Where is Diane? She phoned me. She went out with the dogs, Roger said. She was angry with me, angry with everyone. Dr. Pratt said nothing for a minute. This is going to be very difficult. I'm going to phone the police, Roger. Police? Why? What's wrong? I don't know. Your mother wasn't ill. I saw her on Thursday and she was very well. Why did she die? I don't understand. I want to find out. Roger went across the window and looked out to the garden. It was a beautiful summer morning. The skies were blue and the garden was green. It was all very quiet. His mother loved the small garden, but Tom Bridge wanted the garden, and Roger wanted the garden too. Roger felt worse and worse. Your mother took sleeping tablet, Dr. Black said. Did you know? On Thursday, she had a new booster tablet, but I can't find it here in his room. I didn't know, Roger said. Very well. Let's go downstairs, and you can phone the police. Roger went in the kitchen and made some coffee. Just then, Diane came in with the dogs. Roger, she said, look, I'm sorry. I was angry and said some angry things. Is that the matter? Roger said. Here you are. Have some coffee. Dr. Pratt is phoning to police. Did you know Mother took sleeping tablet? Well, the bottle is not in her room. What? I don't understand. Diane took the coffee and began to drink. Her eyes looked big and dark. Just then, Dr. Pratt came in with the kitchen. They're coming at once, he said. Diane, I'm sorry about your mother. Dr. Pratt, I want to tell you about last night. Everyone was very angry. Be quiet, Roger said quickly. Diane never think before, he thought angrily. Diane did not look at Roger. Last night, Mother went to bed early because everyone... Don't tell me, Dr. Pratt said. You can tell the police. Roger's face went red. Suddenly he felt afraid. The police are going to talk everyone and ask questions, he thought. And they're going to want answers. It's going to be very difficult. He finished his coffee and stood up. I'm going upstairs, he said. I'm going to tell Uncle Albert and Jackie about Mother and about police. Chapter 4. The police arrived very quickly. There was a lot of them. Some of them with camera went upstairs to Mary's room. 2 detectives talked to Dr. Pratt in the kitchen. The family waited in the sitting room. It was a hot day again, and the window was open. The dog sat quietly at Diane's feet. Nobody talked. Jackie smoked. They waited for a long time. Suddenly, the door opened, and the 2 detectives came in. Good morning. I am Detective Inspector Watts, and this is Sergeant Trotter. The inspector is not mine. He was big mouth and an old black suit, and a black hat and coat. He was a cold because he always felt cold. Last night, someone put sleeping tablet in Mrs. Clark's hot milk. We are going to question everybody, and we need a room, please. Roger stood up. I'm Roger Clausen. You can have my father's office. Come with me. It's along here. The office was not a very big room, but there was a table and 3 or 4 chairs. Roger opened the window. I would like to talk first to your uncle, Albert King, Inspector Ward said. He took off coffee hat and sat down behind the table. Of course, said Roger, and left the room. Sergeant Trotter waited by the door. He was a very tall young man with black hair and a nice smile. He was not very happy this morning because he usually plays tennis on Sunday morning. He was one of the best players at the Cambridge tennis club. Albert came in and sat down. I'm going to ask some questions, Mr. King, the inspector said. And Sergeant Trotter is going to write all down. Albert looked at the beat. Yes, it's your job. I know that. Tell me about last night, Inspector was asked quietly. "You was angry with Mrs. Clarkson?" Albert looked at Inspector Ross for the first time. "Yes, I was." Everyone was angry. Roger was angry. Diane wanted money to go to America. Then there's a man called Tom Rich. He wants half a gun. Molly was a rich woman. "I need money because my wife, Annie, Molly's sister, is very ill." "I thought Molly is." "What happened next?" "Well, Molly was angry with everyone and went upstairs. We went in the kitchen for coffee. Jackie wanted everyone to go up and say good night to Molly. She lived here with Molly, so she wanted Molly to be happy. At first, Roger said no. He was angry and didn't want to see his mother. "And did you see Molly in her room?" "Yes. I was tired, and I went upstairs first. I went to Molly's room and asked her for money again. But no, there was no money for her sister." Albert stopped and put his hand. Inspector watched Albert for a minute. "Did you hear noises after you went to bed?" "Everyone went into Molly's room to say good night, I think. Later, I heard someone. He or she went downstairs. That was about midnight." "Very well, Miss King. Thank you. Then can go now." Albert left the room. Inspector Wall put his hand behind his head. "What time is it?" "I'm hungry." "We're learning a lot, but I need some coffee." "Shall I go to the kitchen?" Shorten faltered out. "Oh no. Later. Let's see Jackie Clausen's neck." Jackie came in and sat down. She looked down on her hand and said nothing. "We found the empty bottle of your mother's sleeping tablet in Diane's room," the inspector said suddenly. Then he waited. Jackie's face did not change, and she said nothing. "Tell me, did your mother get her tablet from the shop in the village?" "Yes. My mother usually took the sleeping tablet every night, so she needed a lot of tablets. Sometimes she got them from the shop. Sometimes I did. On Thursday, I asked Peter Hop to get them. He lived in the house across the road, and he often goes to the village on his bicycle." "I see. Your mother wanted to stay in his house. How about you? Did you want to move?" Jackie looked up for a minute, and then down her hand again. "This It's mother's house. I love my mother. She was good to me. Did you see your mother in her room last night? Yes, everyone did. Diane made hot meal and took it to mother. She usually drank a cup of hot milk before she slept. Inspector World put his hand behind his head. Jackie was very quiet. What did your mother say? Jackie opened her bag and looked for a cigarette. Can I smoke? Of course. This is your house, Inspector World said. What, Jackie? What did your mother say? He asked again. She wanted to go downstairs again. She remembered the dogs. She wanted to get some dinner for them. I went to my room, and she went downstairs. What time was this? I don't remember. About midnight, I think. And the cup of hot milk? It was on the table by her bed. Did you need your mother's money? No, Inspector. Money is not important to me. There are more important things, Jackie says quietly. Well, your Uncle Albert wanted money. Tom Bruce wanted the gun. You wanted nothing? Jackie finished cigarette and looked at Inspector Agret. Her eyes were suddenly angry. Don't forget Peter Hawk. He lost his job because my mother. He wanted to kill her, you know. What about Diane? You found the empty bottle in her bed. Inspector Rose listened carefully. We are going to question everyone. Jackie says nothing for a minute. Would you like some sandwiches and coffee, Inspector? Oh, yes, please. Inspector Woods says warmly. I would like sandwiches and coffee very much. Jackie left the room. Inspector Rose talked about her. Why was she suddenly angry? The room was quiet.